Greetings from St. Maximin in the south of France. I've just been to this cafe here. This little really gorgeous cafe. It's just so beautiful here. So I'm just on my way to the basilisk where supposedly Mary Magdalene's skull is retained. There's some controversy over whether or not it is, but I went there yesterday and the vibration was very holy, very holy emanation from the space in general. So much is moving, so much is coming up. I feel really called to share about the invitation that I'm hearing from the Divine Mother, the Great Goddess Sophia, at this time. Excuse me. So let's start with my visit to the basilisk yesterday. I went into the space and I was meditating, and then I went down into the crypt where the skull is, and the Kundalini became very active and I started to feel very moved in my heart and I started to cry. And throughout my time there, I could feel that my voice wanted to open, to cry, to sing. Oh, if you're ever in St. Maximin, you have to come to this store. You'll know because it's got wind chimes outside and it's gorgeous. The woman's so lovely and the store is so pristine and beautiful, really doing a lot of good work on this street for the sacred feminine. Yeah, I was in the church and I just felt I was in the midst of this silence, you know, the reverence that fills holy spaces. But what occurred to me was that when our hearts are moved, when our hearts open, we often want to sing, we often want to cry, we often want to dance, we want to express ourselves. And even within holy spaces, which are spaces of reverence and honouring the divine and exaltation, that's still frowned upon. Well, all of these things are animations of the Divine Mother, of the feminine. Our self-expression is the Divine Feminine. Our capacity to, I'm just outside the basilisk now, our capacity to sing, to dance, to be moved by life, to let life open us and to animate whatever expression wants to come through, this is all the domain of the Divine Feminine. And part of my work coming on this pilgrimage is to start supporting, it's obviously been ongoing, many people are doing this work, but start supporting and restoring sacred self-expression. So I'm in this basilisk yesterday and I could feel all of this self-expression and all of this animation wanting to move through me, of joy, of grace, of light, and sort of feeling how there is this contraction around self-expression, even in supposed holy places where reverence and honouring is welcome. Because there's only a certain type of reverence and honouring welcome, right? Your song isn't welcome, your crying and your wailing isn't welcome. You're welcome if you're silent and meditative. But the thing is, when the heart opens, it's not a silent meditative experience. It's exaltation, it's bliss, it's rapture. And so I've been really feeling that part of the reason I'm here is to support the reclamation of joy. I'm going to take a seat here. The reclamation of joy and the reclamation of self-expression. For myself, this is really important for my own soul's journey, but also because of the level of persecution of the sacred feminine, of the Sophianic Christed teachings and lineages, especially carried forwards by the Cathars after Yeshua's crucifixion. I've been really researching and learning about the Cathars before coming here, and having past life remembrances and an understanding as to why I have this kind of austerity kind of approach in this life, that I've got this very, very sort of almost severe programming that I don't need material provision. I don't need, physical, financial aid. I just need God's love in my heart, and that's enough. And what that manifests as in my life is having no money and essentially being homeless and having to sleep on people's sofas and travel around and being very nomadic. And the Cathars were renunciates. They really, they let go of their attachment to material reality, and they were so devoted to the divine. And I feel in my heart the kind of incarnation imprints of the times when I was when I was living in this way as a Cathar. And the Cathars were persecuted and essentially destroyed, killed by the onset of the Catholic Church and the establishment of kind of the inversion of Christianity. What we see today is an inversion of Christianity. And so even now, even while I'm here, I can feel that the sacred feminine is still a very underground expression and vibration, that there's reverence for the feminine, but it's muted. It's a muted reverence. And I want to share actually what came to me in meditation this morning. I've been guided to sit outside the church, outside the basilisk, and to sing. I've been guided to sing, to let my voice be a conduit for the Sophianic energy. So I was sat in meditation this morning and last night, hearing the same message that we have suffered enough, all of us on earth. Humanity has suffered enough. We have learned through suffering for so long that we've normalized it. We've normalized that the way to enlightenment and the way to illumination and the way to wholeness is through suffering. And a couple of weeks ago, I received a message that the quota of light on earth is such that we can learn through light and joy now. We do not need to learn through suffering. Yes, we're going to experience the contrast of being on earth and the pain and the grief and the sorrow and the anger and the disappointment and all of the things that come with being human. But our place and orientation doesn't need to be one of suffering and lack and scarcity anymore. That there is actually so much grace and light available to us to rest in joy, to rest in love instead of fear. And so yesterday in meditation, I was hearing enough suffering. Now it's time to learn through joy. And I saw my own dharmic path forwards, how this is just something that's come up again and again, how my role is to support people with radical self-expression, to help people to come into full embodiment and self-expression in a way that's unapologetic, to allow them to occupy this vessel in a way that allows them to move and sing and dance and be free in how they express, to express without limitation, to claim their voices and their truth, to claim their song, to claim their unique frequency and to emanate it out into the world. And I see myself doing this actually in unexpected ways. I see myself DJing, and I've had this vision many times where I'm DJing and I'm using music to facilitate sort of rewilding experiences, taking people through their rage and their grief and kind of reawakening Kali within them, taking them through their grief and their sorrow and their tenderness, and taking them through their joy and their fun and their playfulness and their eros and their sensuality, and through the sound, through breath. That this is what I'm here to do. that it's not just sit in meditative space and feel yourself, but actually animate this into the world. This is the marriage of Shakti and Shiva. This is where the goddess is restored, because just the meditative quality is Shiva. It's the presence, it's awareness. But where is Shakti? Where is Shakti? Where is Sophia? Where is the mother? The mother is animation, she is expression, she is dynamism, she is life force flowing. She is our emotion. She is our song, our dance. So then this morning, the same message came that it's time to restore the sacred feminine. Through our self-expression, we become the channels for the restoration of the feminine. Man and woman alike. If you're a man and you are stifling your self-expression, you're denying the goddess within you. Same for us as women. I'm going to share what words I received this morning. And of course, feminine is not reserved to binary male or female. It's any being carries the feminine and the masculine energies within them. And we are all restoring this energy together. Sophia says, sing for me. Your vessel is my vessel. Honor me with your song, your dance, your joy, your open heart. Go to the church and sing. Be my voice. Your expression animates me. It almost feels like a gentle act of rebellion to sit outside the basilisk and sort of in a space. I think I'm close to some sort of civic office. I think this might even be, I don't know, a police station. I keep seeing kind of authority figures and police people moving in and out of this. But it feels like a sort of gentle act of rebellion to sing outside the church and to bring a gentle, grace-filled voice to the feminine, beyond just silent reverence and beyond just sort of like this almost like removed witnessing of the feminine. Like, oh yes, Saint Mary Magdalene, we witness her skull and we look at her and she's this distant figure, this distant emanation. No, the feminine, Mary Magdalene's emanation, the Sophianic emanation is right here. It's right here, right now. It's in our song, it's in our expression, it's in our voice, it's in our hearts. It's the honoring of light and love and grace and truth and grief and rage and all that is true within us, and allowing it to animate and allowing it to express instead of stifling it. We reclaim the fullness of who we are. We reclaim the fullness and our multifacetedness and how dynamic we are, how many different facets we have. When we reclaim the fullness of our self-expression, your rage isn't wrong, your grief isn't wrong, your confusion isn't wrong, your joy isn't wrong, your sexuality isn't wrong, your love isn't wrong. All of it is welcome. What would it be like, this is what came through meditation last night, what would it be like to live with your joy dial turned right fucking up? Like, to live where you are brimming and buzzing with light and joy. That's a life that I want to live. My joy dial has been turned down. I experienced joy in my life. But actually, the amount to which the divine wants to open me and move through me is so much more than I'm allowing. So, here we are. I am traveling today from St. Maximin to St. Bon, and I'll be going to the cave where it is said that Mary Magdalene took refuge for the last 30 years of her life. Again, there's sort of various accounts of this, but that's what's generally consented upon. And this is really the reason I came. It was to receive the word, the holy vibration from the cave. When I was shown the cave, this is where I started to hear, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word is the primordial sound. It's the Sophianic womb of creation, where all is birthed and where all returns. When I was shown the cave, I was shown the cave as a womb, and that the opening as a yoni, and that it is a returning to the primordial womb space to receive the word, to receive the transmission of oneness, the transmission of our original state beyond separation, to receive that. It is within that cave, and really any cave system is a manifestation of this, but this cave in Saint Bon carries this holy emanation very strongly. And so I'll be traveling there today, and I will be recording several videos. I've already received guidance on what to record, so there'll be more content to come from this pilgrimage. And over on my Patreon, I'm going to be sharing guided meditation on turning up the dial of joy, light language transmissions. Yeah, there's lots of bonus content coming on Patreon, so I really encourage you to join me there, even if it's just on the first tier. But of course I'll be sharing my journey here as well. So perhaps the next video you'll see will be my song outside of the basilisk. It's either the basilisk or the basilica. I've never studied French. I feel really self-conscious of the fact that I don't know the language, because I like to know a little bit of the language before I travel. This has sort of been so... Coming here has been a real stumbling onto this timeline. I have not arrived here gracefully. There has been so much egoic resistance to this trip because I felt how big it was. I felt the magnitude of it, how much my heart wants to explode open, how much energy wants to be liberated and shed, and it feels very vulnerable and kind of life-changing. And of course the egoic structures feel this changing coming and resist it, but it's time. So I'm sending love from this beautiful space. I'm absolutely loving France. I definitely feel I'll have a base here, if not the base of my sort of physical healing remembrance space that I'll be co-creating with others. I've traveled extensively, and especially I've been to Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece. Some spaces more than others, but some countries more than others. And there's something about the vibration of France that really sings to me and speaks to me. The energy of the French people is familiar to me. I obviously can't understand the words they're speaking. There's some, I'm sort of able to slightly transfer some of my understanding of Spanish over. Certain things that translate and some things that don't. But it's the energy of the people here, that there is a passion and an integrity to the French people, and actually self-expression feels like it's quite interwoven into has been interwoven energetically into the culture here. It might be a little bit stifled now, but the French are known revolutionaries. They're known for standing for something, and that energy really resonates with me because I've got the heart of an activist. I've got the heart of a revolutionary. I've got the heart of someone that will not stand for injustice. And everyone has been so kind that I've interacted with, so friendly. I don't know what the British people are talking about when they slag off the French, because there's a lot of that in England. I belong here a lot more than I belong in Britain. That's what I know, that energetically and at a soul level, this is much more familiar to me than the current culture in the UK. All right, friends, I'm going to leave this video here. I look forward to connecting with you again soon. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. May we all have the courage to reclaim our sacred self-expression and the truth of what moves in our hearts and wants to move through us as vessels for the divine. Namaste, friends.